fastball, but she recognized how important that changeup was, used it against Tennessee in that regional performance, did a really good job, tons of strikeouts. Expect to see her tough out of the circle defensively as well. So in the circle, a great ad. Reese Poole going to see a lot of time this weekend. She threw every pitch of the regional tournament. I expect to see her a lot this week.
Nearly 400 pitches in that regional. As you see, 3-1, 4 complete games, 29 Ks in 23 innings of work. And she is the daughter of the manager here for North Carolina, Donnell Poole. Here you see the Indiana batting order. And Riley Cunningham is going to start things off. They call her the Flash. If you're going to lead off, that's a good nickname to have. Looking forward to seeing this Indiana team play. Again, runner-up of the Central Regional, which was played in Whitestown, Indiana. No Indiana team has ever won the Little League Softball World Series. So great opportunity here this week.
And early on in a game, as a pitcher that has high emotion, she's going to have to reel that in to make sure that her pitches fill the zone quickly so that she learns that strike zone back behind the plate that's going to be called. In the couple of games we saw earlier this morning that have already been played, the strike zone has been fairly large. It's been a pitcher's zone. So right now, Poole needing to settle down and just try to fill the zone and extend it on these first couple of batters.
And a 3-0 count here from Reese Poole. 12 years old, rising 7th grader at West Rowan Middle School. And that is in there, 3-1.
Well, and that bodes well for Poole, being able to be in that pressure situation in the first batter, a 3-0 count, able to come back with a solid strike.
That one lined out to first as Eva Shue collects for out number 1.
Well, that's a solid at bat for Cunningham to be able to step in, show discipline on those first couple of pitches, and then line out for the first out of the game. She's seeing the ball well.
That'll bring up Tess Bradford, daughter of one of the coaches here on this staff. That one slapped foul, rising 7th grader in Zionsville Middle School. You'll hear that school mentioned a bunch here today. Her coach, assistant coach Todd Bradford, did say that she is his favorite player, so that's good to hear.
I would sure hope so, but on the flip side, the person that she looks up to the most is her mom.
It's good. It's not as reciprocated, but there we are. Tess Bradford, plays shortstop, catcher, center field. Should be shortstop here today. Scored the game-winning run in the state championship game for Zionsville Little League. 2 just outside, 2-2. And early on in this game and in these games, just getting a feel for what these strike zones can be, because sometimes you don't know what you're going to get.
No, and that's what Poole needs to do, is just extend the zone, see where she's going to be able to grab those calls. She's got great command, and you can see that she's settling down in the circle. The ball now down in the zone, where early on she was missing up and away, which just told you her heart rate was elevated. But now with 3 straight balls, she needs to settle back in.
3-2, that one slapped, and that is a fair ball. Tess Bradford off the full count. It's the 1-out single and 1 on here for Indiana.
And this is just a really good hit. The ball is down the middle, and so with both of the first 2 hitters taking the ball to the right side of the field, what that tells you is Reese Poole is really bringing the ball in pretty quick. They have not caught up to her speed yet, so they're a little bit late taking the ball to the right side, but a great single to start things off.
Reese Poole likes to work that fastball and work that changeup off of that. As you see, squaring around to bunt is Allie Stump. Was 0 for 4 in the regional with a walk. 13 years old, rising 9th grader. We'll see if Indiana just tries to get Bradford to second, but with 1 out. Allie Stump will have some options here. You see that nickname, Stumpy. She's 5'2". More about her nickname, her last name, than her stature.
And when we talked to Coach about that, he said, it is about the last name. It's not about her size. He said, but she is on the shorter side. So definitely lives up to the name in a couple of different ways.
Her favorite fruit's Nutella. She'd fit right in with my kids. The 2-1 inside and low. 3-1.
And early on, you can see a pitcher always trying to just nip at the corners. You never want to bring the ball over the heart of the plate.
Stump looked to square, but called a strike, and now another full count. So Reese Poole works back-to-back batters to a full count. Poole having to work for it here. The 3-2. Swing and a miss and a big K there for the fireball.
And you can tell that Reese Poole is able to bring this ball over the heart of the plate when she gets in trouble. She doesn't want to, but look at that. Right down Main Street and throws so fast. Hard to catch up to. Allie Stump recorded as the first strikeout of the game.
That's 2 outs now, bringing up Hadley Bray. That one's foul down the right field line. 12 years old, rising 8th grader. They call her Hads. And she had 5 hits in the regional. Hit .385, a couple of runs batted in.
I see what you did there. When it comes to cleats, though, she never unties her cleats. The thing that's unique, though, they got brand new cleats. So I wonder if these cleats are going to be able to go the distance this week without getting untied.
Swing and a miss. You saw that little off-speed pitch there. That is the go-to pitch for someone nicknamed Fireball. She's got a good off-speed.
Definitely has a great off-speed, and what that does is it makes her fastball look faster. So while this team is trying to catch up to her fastball, that changeup's going to make it look even faster. Is disrupting the timing of the hitter, and that's what we're seeing of Reese Poole, being able to throw that changeup to disrupt the timing of a big hitter, send a message back to the dugout. You've got to pick one of those pitches to hit. You either need to sit fastball or sit changeup, but we haven't seen a ton of changeups so far here in the first inning.
The 0-2. That one inside and gets by Laisha Carter. And scampering down to second base is Bradford, now runner on scoring position here with 2 down.
Okay, always want to take advantage of those extra 60 feet. Anytime the ball heads into the dirt, you should take an additional jump off the bag, see if you can advance.
That one is high, 2-2. Deep counts here for Reese Poole multiple times here in this first inning. That one slapped to second. McNealy up with it. And that'll do it. 1 left on base for Indiana. Reese Poole gets it done. And the team from Salisbury, North Carolina will get their first licks here in the bottom of the first. And Reese Poole is at the plate here. Ainsley Watt getting the start here for Indiana. It's going to be very interesting to see how she performs. She did not throw 1 pitch in the regional.
Yeah, this was a unique call for me when we talked to Coach about who he would be starting, and he told us Ainsley Watt. We looked into her background and realized she hadn't thrown a pitch at regionals. She actually had to change her pitching motion this past year and was shut down for about 6 to 8 months just to be able to come back and be in this arena. She had a foot issue, then it moved into a leg issue, and then a shoulder issue, but now she's back and ready to go.
Yeah, some growth plate issues. It happens when you get a little taller, and we'll see how she does here today. Reese Poole facing a 3-0 count. And 4-pitch walk here for Reese Poole.
Now batting, number 13, Milo Mcnealy.
Not the start that Ainsley Watt was hoping for in her first pitches deep into this postseason. And now Milo Mcnealy take to the plate. And that's 5 straight balls now for Watt.
And you're just looking as a pitcher to be able to settle down. You never like to throw a ball over the heart of the plate, but at this point in time, you expect that the batter's going to keep the bat on her shoulder, waiting for you to throw one, so you've got to just fill the zone with strikes and make them do their thing.
2-0 now to Milo Mcnealy, the 11-year-old who will turn 12 later this month, rising 8th grader, hit 600 in the Southeast region. And a great count here at 2-0. And Watt does get a strike, 2-1.
Well, and that's a beautiful spot to be able to get that first strike down in the zone, knowing that if contact was made, it would be just a routine ground ball. Maybe you could roll a ground play or double play up the middle, but a good first strike for Ainsley Watt.
McNealy, 6 hits in 4 regional games, puts that one down, but it's foul, and now the count evens at 2-2. Coach says she is a heck of an athlete. Played baseball the first few years of her life, has played softball for just about a year and a half. But baseball certainly helps getting you ready for this sport. And McNealy skies that one to center. Cunningham tracks it. And one away.
Well, and that's how you know you're seeing the ball well, when you can square it up and take it right back up the middle. A great hit, but it finds the glove of the center fielder, Cunningham, so she's the first out of the inning.
Laisha Carter now will step to the plate. Catcher here today. Loves seeing that favorite band, Beastie Boys. And she is on record as saying she will fight for her right to party. That one in the dirt, and Poole's going to take second.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to have some of these athletes fill out some information for us before we got here, and the quote that she had down really hit home to me. She said, "No grass stains, no glory, no bruises, no story." And I love that. Got to get dirty when you play.
Sounds like a potential tattoo or something. I mean, that's just a life
I know, that's
motto.
pretty long.
That is, it's a long sentence. A lot of ink. I would not advise it, nor do I endorse it. You guys can keep that graphic up. Favorite band, Beastie Boys. Just adds toughness at the plate. Carter lines to third, but that is corralled by Strecker, who doubles off the runner at second as Stump collects to end the inning with a double play. Ellie Strecker right there, Jenny.
Able to pick up that line drive, doubles off the runner over at second. It's a great double play to get him back in the dugout.
Little League Softball World Series. A couple of games earlier today in the books. Virginia took down Missouri. Oklahoma defeated New Jersey. This is pool play with 2 different divisions. The Jessica Mendoza division, the Jenny Finch division. Of course, to honor 2 of the greats to ever play the game. And this is the Jessica Mendoza pool play here. Indiana, runner-up of the Central region, which was played in Whitestown, Indiana. Taking on North Carolina from Rowan Little League in Salisbury, North Carolina, runner-up of the Southeast region in Warner Robins, Georgia. It's Hannah Cope now to the plate. Swing and a miss. Poole gets ahead of her. Nope, 12 years old, turned 12 on August 6th of this month, rising 6th grader at Zion Middle School. 1-0, that one is flared to left. And a nice running effort there by Maddie Baker.
What an amazing catch to be able to travel that distance. Off the bat, she pauses just briefly to make sure she reads it correctly, but out there and left. Baker with a big grab, first out of the inning, really sets the tone well as she comes up with that big catch.
Maddie Baker, they call her Mad Dog. Look at the glasses, you can see why. Gets the first out of the inning there for North Carolina. That'll bring up the pitcher, Ainsley Watt. 12 years old from Zionsville, was 0 for 5 in the regional, looking for her first hit since the state tournament. Her favorite athlete is Jenny Finch. Although she is playing in the Jessica Mendoza pool, no offense to Jessica.
Well, they had to split the teams up, so there was a 50-50 chance that she was going to be in the Finch pool. But you know what? Most of these athletes look up to Jenny Finch, and I do too. So let's be real, great mentor to be able to have in their corner. And we may be able to hear from her a little bit later this week.
What a tease there.
I know.
You Wildcats hang out together.
Hey, greatness follows greatness.
Well, there it is, and there it is, Jenny Dalton-Hill.
But I'm older than her, so I'm the Jenny that came before that Jenny at Arizona.
Right.
So
Set the stage, 3-time national champ, more than 70 bombs here. I think you and I have 76 collegiate home runs between us here in the booth as Watt strikes out, and another strikeout for Poole. That's her second.
yeah, Poole has settled in so well into the circle. While Indiana is a good hitting team, they have just not caught up to the speed that she's been able to bring from the circle.
That'll bring up Ellie Strecker. First pitch swinging, foul. She's typically the one you'll see in the circle for Zionsville, and will be interesting to see if and when they decide to bring her in here today. She pitched 23 innings in that regional and did a good enough job to get them here to Greenville, North Carolina.
Yeah, Strecker threw over 300 pitches in that regional. I was really impressed with just the composure that she has in the circle, and she's 6'1". I mean, how tall she is really is intimidating for a lot of hitters.
.6'1", rising 8th grader. That ball is out, 2-2. Hit 188 in the regional. You see that tallest player in the tournament, and she looks up to Montana Fouts, but if she saw her, she'd probably see eye to eye, would she not?
She would, and that's a really good swing, but it's on a pitch that just continues to tail outside. Another strikeout for Reese Poole. It's her third one of the day, but check out the defense over there in left. Big catch. Maddie Baker, fire me up.
Mad Dog! They've got a couple of players out because of COVID protocols in Jenna Dittmer and Caroline Westerfield, who will be joining the team here coming up later this week. We'll play in their Friday game. And if you're wondering why aren't the players on the field, well, they're giving players a little extra time in the dugout, which is really smart because we're under a heat advisory here and 93 degrees out. A heat index of anywhere from 107 to 108 right now. There's no gusts of wind. The flags are still, and so the players are still in the dugout collecting themselves and playing it safe, and a pretty smart move. It is a sweltering heat here this week in North Carolina.
And it's not just the heat, it's the humidity as well. It settles in this field. The wind is not moving, the air is very still, but in the stands they've got oscillating fans to be able to help the fan base be a little bit more comfortable. And now we'll go ahead and watch them take the field.
Photographic evidence that I can tell what flags are doing and what they're not doing. No wind here at Elm Creek Park. Elm Street Park, I should say. Opened in May of 1951. So this is the 70th anniversary. Just a couple of months past the 70th anniversary here of this park opening up. Stallings Stadium. We're 85 miles east of Raleigh, which is the state capital here in North Carolina. And they did a lot of work on this field. It's predominantly a baseball field. They had to flip the field, turn it into a softball field, and they've done a great job here. A lot of folks doing a lot of work to put on this Little League Softball World Series here in Greenville.
Well, and this is the first year that the World Series is being played here in town, and this Elm Street Park is a beautiful venue to be able to showcase the talents of all of these athletes on the field.
Watt continues in the circle here for Indiana, and will face Jordan Dry, number 9, 13 years old, rising 8th grader out of Rockwell, North Carolina. Had a couple of hits in the regional. That one slapped to second, gets a glove on it. That's Stump, who throws to Shuckman for out number 1.
You know, what you were seeing early on in that at bat was as Dry was stepping in, she was glancing at the catcher to see where she was setting up. I like that little sneak a peek to be able to give yourself a little bit of a heads up as to where this pitch may be asked to be thrown to. Hits that sharply, but a great play, records her as an out.
How often did you do that as a hitter, looking back to see where the catcher was?
You got to be careful not to get caught with that sneaky peek, because if a catcher sees you doing it, they'll trip you up every now and again.
Eva Shue. Now at the plate, first baseman hit .444 in that Central Regional in Whitestown, Indiana. Drove in 4 runs, scored 3 times. A couple of big hits in that win over Tennessee. And that one unable to be grabbed by Allie Stump, fielded by Cunningham, and a 1-out single. Thinking about taking an extra base, but she'll hang there off the backup from Strecker. And Shue is on with 1 out.
And this is just a really nice swing on a ball that's left over the heart of the plate. A heavy lefty hitter that just takes this one in the gap. But Cunningham out there in center takes a great angle to that ball, gets the ball in quickly. Backups prove that they are important, with Strecker picking that one up and keeping her at first.
And North Carolina, that is their first hit of this game. Had a walk earlier in the first inning. And you can see Sammy Kowicki coming out of the chute there, expecting the speedy Eva Shue perhaps to take off here, or a hit and run. We'll see what they decide to do. Leah Troutman skies that one behind the box. Unable to come up with that was Kowicki. She was under it, lost her footing, and maybe overtracked.
Gotta love a catcher that's able to track this ball, gets rid of the mask, and as she tracks it, it just hits the fingers of the glove. Isn't able to find its way into the pocket. That's a tough break for Indiana, but keeps Troutman alive.
See if Troutman could take advantage. That one in the dirt. Nice scoop there by Kowicki.
Kowicki, typically a very good defensive catcher. That was a miscue by her that I know she's going to think back on, but she'll get another opportunity. The key to being a great defender is just flushing the play before and moving forward with positivity.
Zionsville Little League Spirit Award winner is your backstop. And she is locked in and ready to go, but a 3-1 count here for Leah Troutman. Out of Rockwell, North Carolina. At .429 in the regional. That one, nice off speed, is in there for a strike. We're full at 3-2. Leah Troutman, one of her mottos she likes to follow: never let fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. No fear there, no strikeout there. She gets a walk. We got 2 on with 1 out.
A beautiful eye to be able to stay alive in that one. Actually shows that if you stay up there and you're able to keep your eye on the heart of the plate, you're going to be more successful. That foul ball played to her favor with the drop by Kowicki, and now runners at first and second.
Danica Rosa, 13 years old, rising 8th grader out of Grain-Stowe Day School. 2 for 5 in the regional, and an RBI triple in the regional championship game against Virginia. Likes Dansby Swanson. Favorite athlete. Her favorite show is Bubble Guppies. And it is time to go outside.
I'm going to say I don't know if I believe that one to be true. Bubble Guppies is typically a show for a younger kid. I'm guessing that was something that she got put up to write that one down. But if it is her, kudos, but I'm not believing that
In
one.
her defense, the songs are catchy.
Agreed.
It's Time for Lunch
Agreed.
is a great hit. Heard that many times at home. That one, a wild pitch, and both runners will advance. That one just looked like it slipped out of the hands of Ainsley Watt, and now 2 on, both in scoring position here for Danica Rosa.
Well, and that's what you have to be careful of. In these kinds of temperatures, you're going to sweat a lot, meaning your grip is going to be affected. I don't see any rosin in the circle. I don't see her going to the ground to get dirt or anything like that. You've got to be careful. That grip is so important as a pitcher.
And did that hit her? No. but inside. And now 2-2. Ainsley Watt, you saw her get a double play to help her in the first. She could use another one here. That one grounded to short. Run will score. Play to first in time. Runner from second going to third. And she does slide in there, but not before Eva Shoes scores to make it 1-0 North Carolina.
Now batting, number 6.
Well, and typically you just want to make sure that you put this ball in play, especially with less than 2 outs. So with a runner in scoring position, she does a good job of putting this one in the dirt, sacrifices herself, gets a run, and advances the second runner, now just 60 feet away from run number 2.
Troutman now at third. Caroline Lyerly, the right fielder, now up with 2 outs. We'll see if Watt can get out of this with just a 1-0 deficit. They call her Chooch. And Chooch flies that one to center. Cunningham tracks it. And that'll do it for the third out. But not before we get a run on the board. Eva Shoes scores after the fielder's choice from Danica Rosa. 1-0 Rowan Little League. So technically they are the reigning champs. They beat River Ridge from Louisiana back in 2019. And those 2 titles, the only Little League Softball World Series titles won by a team from North Carolina. And what's even cooler is the connection that they have with those past teams. Past players from those teams have come to speak to the team en route to this trip to Greenville, North Carolina.
Well, and one of the things about playing in this arena is you need to know what to expect, and how great that they have that ability to speak to kids and athletes who have played in these shoes and could give them a little bit of an edge to help them out with what they should be looking for when they got to the World Series.
Reese Poole with a couple of strikeouts to her name. 2-1 now. So Emery Shuckman. See a lot of length here on this Indiana team. Tall players here. We mentioned Bailey Strecker. There's Emery Shuckman. Stands around 6 feet. That one's slap foul. 3-2.
And you can tell that this Indiana team is having a hard time catching up to the speed of Poole in the circle. One of the things that you can do as a hitter when a pitcher is overpowering you with speed is just make sure you get to that stride foot or toe touch a little bit earlier, and that'll help you get your barrel around into the zone a little quicker.
Another swing and another miss, and that is 4 Ks for Fireball. We talked about it earlier, just the past teams that spoke to this Rowan Little League, and you see Coach Yang, that's Campbell Shane, Ashley Yang, Ellen Yang, that were part of those. KK Dowling from the 2015 team was also there, and they came to talk to them before their regional there at Warner Robins, and just said, we said, what's the advice that they gave you? They said, they said it's fun to play, but it's even more fun to win. And that's pretty good advice and pretty realistic.
I'm going to say that is totally true. When I was able to play in the Little League World Series, we came in second, and all I could do was think about that for years and years. Okay, it's been 32 years, and I'm still thinking about it.
You're still talking about it, yes.
But it comes down to winning the game and winning the moment and making sure that in each opportunity, you're just taking advantage of what's being given.
Always good to have connections from the past and connections to those that have done it. And what a great connection Reese Poole and Laisha Carter have had here in this battery. That is strikeout number 5.
Yeah, and this ball is down in the zone, but what you're seeing is you've got to get your bat off the shoulder. She did not agree with that strike call, but look at it. It just falls off the table with that late hard break. A great pitcher's pitch that now Indiana recognizes they're going to have to get the bat off the shoulder and swing at next time.
9 batters faced. 5 of them have gone down via the strikeout. Riley Cunningham popped out in the first and grounds out here in the third. Reese Poole continues to dominate, facing one over the minimum so far. 1-0 North Carolina. They'll try to add to their lead in the bottom of the frame. Middle school will be asked to rise to the occasion and kind of put a halt to these North Carolina bats.
Right, and Ellie Strecker is the ace on this team. I love that Coach Westerfield saw an opportunity to play Ainsley Watt to start the game, but now the ace Strecker in the circle for Indiana.
23 innings of work in the regional for Ellie Strecker. Started 4 games, went 3-1, 23 strikeouts, 26 hits in those 23 innings. Maddie Baker at the plate here for North Carolina.
Well, and one of the things you'll see about Ellie Strecker is that she fills the zone with strikes. Out of the 307 pitches she had in regionals, 226 of them were strikes. So 74% of her pitches filling the zone, does a really good job of starting most batters with that strike. So as a hitter, you want to step in and look to hit early against Strecker.
That one is high, 3-1. Not what you wanted if you're an Indiana fan. A 5-pitch walk here for Maddie Baker.
Well, and definitely not how you want to start an inning with a walk, but now they flip the lineup over and they see their bigger bats now coming up to the plate as well. So that's a tough start for Strecker.
And now the leadoff batter, the pitcher, Reese Poole, now at the plate. She walked in the first and was stranded after the inning. That one does catch the plate, 1-1. Do have some defensive shifts as Skura is now playing right. Canar is in center field. Cunningham has moved to second base for Indiana. And Anna Cope is now playing third. Strecker, who is now in the circle. So if you're scoring at home, God bless you. That one is high, 3-1.
Well, we talked a lot about those playing rules, and that's what Indiana is up against. They need each of their players to play 6 consecutive outs, and so you saw a different pitcher start the game in Ainsley Watt. And now defensively, some other changes happening to get some other players in the game to make sure that they get their outs in for their rules, to be able to meet those rules so they don't have to forfeit this game.
And I like the approach. We talked to Donnell Poole about it. He said, I just want to get these kids experience in this. And it's not bracket play as you get a 6-pitch walk here. It's not necessarily bracket play. You feel confident you're going to get to the bracket portion of this. You got to finish top 4 of these 5-team pools here. So it's not an automatic, but experience does matter here moving forward. And the more experience you can get, you would think the better. But right now, North Carolina getting a little bit too much experience on the base paths.
Well, but that's one of the beauties of Little League, giving players an opportunity to step in and make a difference.
McNealy puts that one down. That will move the runners, and a nice job there. As runners now advance, Poole goes to third, Baker goes to second. And a good job of Milo McNealy giving herself up.
Well, and just a selfless play, recognizing an opportunity to move 2 runners into scoring position, gives herself up with that sacrifice, and North Carolina looking to capitalize now, sitting here in the heart of their order. Laisha
Carter, the catcher, lined into that double play in that first inning with a runner on at second base.
I tell you what, this is a great defensive play out there in right field by Kate Skura. Goes to her knees to make the catch, and then a great throw home. Almost gets it in time, but Baker fast enough on the bases to plate run number 2.
2-0 lead, and that is a great cushion there for how Reese Poole is pitching right now. And a chance to make it 3-0 here with 3 outs, and 60 feet away is the aforementioned pitcher. Jordan Dry, 13 years old, rising 8th grader. Grounded out her first time up. And this one is flared to short. Going over to make that play is Bradford for out number 3. But not before another run comes on. North Carolina with a 2-0 lead. Indiana, can they answer? And answer next.
North Carolina, 1 run. No hits, no errors, and left on base.
He passes. I said, oh, there's Fireball Pool. And she did a double take, and she looks back, and she stopped, and she was almost incredulous that someone recognized her.
Well, and at this age, you aren't recognized, right? You expect to see like a Jenny Finch walk in and then everybody's heads turn, but to have your attention turned to her, it caught her off guard. And it was pretty cool to see the look on her face to not know how to respond to you. Like, are you a good guy? Because you know who I am.
How do you know me and I don't know you? That's not how life works. Well,
Right.
Get used to it. The more success you have, the more people you don't know will know you, and especially when you're on national television. You're on ESPN+. Off to a great start here today. And Zionsville Little League has some work to do as Tess Bradford steps in, and she'll face an 0-1 count. Fouled out of play. Tess Bradford. And she once played Scuttle in the school production of The Little Mermaid, which is the seagull.
And I always think of the seagull, think up, you know.
Ground ball there for a ball.
Mine.
Was that Nemo?
It's
that
Finding
Dory.
Nemo,
Yeah.
but when it comes to
You're right, I'm
seagulls,
with you.
that's
Yeah,
what
I'm
it
with
makes
you.
me think of, to be able to, because it was just a pop fly, right? So everybody's calling mine. And we saw some hiccups in the first couple of games with pop flies where communication wasn't quite right. You've got to make sure that you're calling the ball and listening around
Look
you.
at you incorporating softball with The Little Mermaid and Finding Nemo. They're both Disney products, so it really works well here on ESPN+. That
That's
was well
right.
done.
Well, my job is to weave the story, right? But more importantly, I love Disney movies.
Make sure you have your bundle, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu, as we all do. 3-2 count here to Tess Bradford. Should also mention she likes AC/DC.
That's one of the things that really honestly caught me off guard when I read through all of these player bios, just how many 80s bands were the favorites of these athletes.
She likes the show Friends, too. I mean, it's like I feel like I can relate to these people. This is great.
Maybe they're parents, because I'm guessing it's the parents that are playing the music, but I think Friends is relatable to everybody.
Tess and all of her friends have some work to do here, down 2-0. As Reese Poole continues to work. Up to 54 pitches now. It's not been efficient, but it's been tough to hit.
Definitely, and that's what we see is a good pitcher is able to miss spots intentionally. So while she's sitting a little bit higher in her strike count, the key is making sure that you throw intentional strikes and intentional balls, not letting the counts get away from you. And that's been the thing that I've been most impressed with Reese Poole. After those first couple of batters, she really has settled in, has extended the zone side to side, has found the changeup, and is just dealing here.
10th pitch of the at-bat is a strikeout as Reese Poole continues to leave Zionsville Little League thunderstruck.
I tell you what, she is just nitpicking that corner, doing such a good job of painting the corner and recording her 6th strikeout in this game. It absolutely freezes Tess Bradford.
Score.
Did you appreciate the AC/DC reference?
I'm just saying. Thunderstruck's
I didn't want to
pretty
mention
good.
it.
But I think it's important to recognize that there's also another fan of Big Gun.
Very true.
On this team as well.
That was her walk-up song, if she could choose one, for Tess Bradford. Poole has struck out 5 of the last 6 she has faced. Now, conversation here in the circle as Kate Skura comes to the plate. So that great catch in right field by Skura. In that last inning, 12 years old. Going into the 7th grade, had a hit, an RBI, and a walk in the regional. The 0-1 from Poole.
You don't always see brothers and sisters getting along in families, but the thing that's cool about Kate Skura is she looks up to her older brother Ryan, and so to be able to have that mentor already in your family, pretty cool. Great catch over there at second base. We talk about getting dirty, we talk about bruises, but that's a fabulous play over there by McNealy to be able to come away with this one. Recognizes it early, takes a great first step forward, nicks this one right off the ground. A great catch. Oh, don't rub it, don't rub it.
Nice. Let it be.
That's right.
Milo Mcnealy, her nickname, they said her nickname is ESPN.
Ah, there was a rub. Dang, and we caught it on camera.
Did it. We'll only show the highlight on SportsCenter.
That's right.
Not the rub. Great catch there by McNealy, and that brings up Hadley Bray. Grounded out in that first inning, and just a tough go of it so far. Here's McNealy again. Back-to-back putouts. And after a long first batter, Reese Poole settles down, a few pitches, another couple of outs. We go to the bottom of the 4th. All North Carolina so far. Passes away, and then during regionals, Ellie was instrumental in getting this team to the Little League World Series, and talking to the coaching staff and the head coach of Indiana, Jeremiah Westerfield, who got involved because of the late coach Steve Strecker. Westerfield said, he coached one of my other daughters, my older daughter, and he needed someone to hold the hit stick. I went down and I held the hit stick, and I got sucked into coaching. Did that for a while. As safe at first with that blazing speed is Josephina Hunt. With the leadoff infield single. Get another look, just beats it by a step.
Well, and it's a drag bunt, recognizing an opportunity with some defenders that may not be able to get her speed. Puts down that drag bunt down the first base line. And while it may be a pinch hit situation, she steps in, starts things off with those muscles.
And that'll bring up now Reagan Williams as you see some of the substitutions come in. Again, the mandatory play rule, as you are required, every batter, every player that is active here on the roster does get at least one at-bat and 6 consecutive defensive outs. So there is certainly a juggling act here. She squares to bunt. But back to the story, it's just one man creating a lot of energy and a lasting legacy. And that legacy is right here with these girls. And Coach Westerfield said, I can't help but think he's looking down and really proud of these girls.
Definitely so impressed with what he was able to help create. While he did push to try to get central headquarters into Zionsville, it's just down the road now in Whitestown, Indiana, and for them to be able to host that central regional, they were able to bring in so many fans because it truly was just down the road. But those 4 young athletes, Isabella, Campbell, Ellie, and Grayson, definitely missed their dad.
Williams puts it down. That will advance the runner, so she does her job. For out number 1, advancing the runner to second, the speedy Josephina Hunt.
And with so much speed over there at second base, all it's going to take is a little poke to the grass. She's going to be able to use those wheels and score as she sits in scoring position now at second.
Now 13-year-old Kaylee Furr, rising 8th grader. Another sub in out of West Rowan Middle School. Went 1 for 4 in the regional. Told us she could play. Questionnaires that are
A little jam session for this group of young ladies.
Nothing like a little back in black on the ukulele.
Hey, we could rock it, all right?
You see Coach Darnell Poole with a conversation with our plate umpire, Mark Teagle. Wind starting to blow a little bit here, maybe providing a little bit of relief. Temps in the low 90s, heat index in the triple figures. See the crowd yelling, "Come on, Ellie." Ellie Strecker will turn 13 years old on Monday. Big number 23 with a 3-1 count. And now, a 1-out walk.
And just a really good eye by Fur to be able to step in and take advantage of what's given to her. Got her bat off her first shoulder on that pitch over the heart of the zone. But draws the walk, and a walk's as good as a hit in this situation.
Well, Brindley Hyatt will get her opportunity here as another sub. 12 years old, rising 7th grader out of West Rowan Middle School, youngest of 4 siblings. Favorite food is chicken Alfredo, so she's a friend of mine. I do love that nugget there as he puts down the butt. And what a great butt it is from Hyatt. That'll get the job done, and the throw gets away. Hun will score. Runner advances to third. And instead of nobody scoring and 2 out, a run does score and 1 out, and a great bunt from Hyatt.
You gotta love small ball, and in situations like this, it's a beautifully placed ball over there down the third base line. Strecker really good out of the circle, gets there before anybody else, but her throw trails into the running lane. That's a tough catch for a second baseman that comes over to try to field that one. Great job, and heads up base running puts everybody in scoring position. So we've got runners at second and third because they gave up at additional 68 to Hyatt with a beautiful bunt.
The error will go to the first baseman, Schuckman, and a tough luck error there. It was a little inside, but certainly on the glove.
Let's go.
And a catch you need to make in a situation like this. But again, plenty of opportunities for Zionsville, not only in this game, but a few more games to play. But North Carolina perhaps about to blow this game open with a 3-0 lead here in the 4th. The runners will hold. Getting a good down. Last month, rising 7th grader out of Irwin Middle School. Tries to put the bunt down. It does get in front of the first baseman, Schuckman, and no one's there to cover. And an RBI bunt single. Back-to-back bunts, getting it done for Rowan Little League.
And the key to this one is when the ball goes up in the air, it freezes the second baseman, Cunningham. And because of that, with a crashing first baseman of Schuckman, it's an opportunity for the second baseman not to even be in position over there to cover first base. That's a tough break for Indiana defensively.
Hit them where they ain't, or hit them where it's a tough play to make. And that has been the case here.
Well, the key to this one, Matt, is everybody's bunting this inning. You're seeing a ton of small ball in this one, and now an advancement with a first and third play puts both runners in scoring position again. No throw down to second base.
Back in that second inning when they took that 1-0 lead. Actually, that third inning, no hits in that inning when they got that run last inning. And this inning, no balls have left the infield, and they've played it too.
And what you want to do early on in this tournament is get your bats rolling. And so far, we haven't seen North Carolina get those big hits and string them together, but they're taking advantage of what's being offered to them, and small ball has been the doorway this inning.
It's funny, Reese Poole, who's at the plate, she told us, our motto or our mantra, we try to bum it. But she admitted after regionals, it's just not going great. So we're going to try and get after it. They're not bombing it today, but they're getting the job done. And when you have a team that can win in a multitude of ways, you're going to be tough to beat. Poole, did she lay off? She did not. And she'll go down on strikes.
You know, and one of the coolest things about this tournament is they do have video replay. Look, we get the opportunity as viewers to always see it, but her bat does break the plane of the plate. It is seen correctly down the first base line. She gets rung up for the second out of the inning.
And now Milo Mcnealy will come in. Made a great play at second base in the last half inning. Now a chance to get it done with the bat. McNealy to right. Going to be a tough play, and it drops. One run will score, another runner trying to score, and she will. As that is Sophia Redding scoring from second. A couple of more come home. And it is all North Carolina here in Greenville.
Well, and this ball is kind of in no man's land. Out there behind first base, it's where most players converge, but it looks like they're just going to let Skura try to take advantage of it. That one allows two to come around. Two more runs, Matt. This is an opening for North Carolina to really break this one open.
Hyatt and Redding both score. McNealy now on second. And Laisha Carter to second. Cunningham puts that one away, and that will do it. But not before four more runs score for North Carolina. They did it with small ball variety. 4 runs, an error, one runner left on base. But right now, Rowan Little League having its way, and Reese Poole looks like she's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, Reese Poole has done a really good job of just filling the zone with strikes and blowing it by these Indiana hitters. It's time for those bats to wake up, though, as they sit with just 6 outs left to play in this game.
Anna Cope. In 12 just last week. 64 in the regional. And trying to get things started here, but that one to second and a quick out. Milo Mcnealy has been a vacuum cleaner there at second.
Well, and defense is all about making quick transitions. I really like the way that she kept her feet still, came up with that one, fed it over to first base, recognizing how fast Cope was going down the line. A good play over there at second base by McNealy.
She's made 4 putouts today from second base, including a diving stop on a shallow pop fly. Reese Poole has faced 1 over the minimum here for 4 1/3. Isa Canar, it's Isabella Canar, likes to be called Isa Canar, is now up. 13 years old, rising 8th grader out of International School of Indiana, private school.
Yeah, she speaks a couple of different languages, speaks Spanish fluently, also speaks some Mandarin. So not only is she a great athlete, but she steps in with a pretty bright future, being able to manipulate language as well.
Plays volleyball, basketball at school as well. And now a 3-1 count against Poole. 12 in a row have been retired by Reese Poole. That's the announcer jinx, so 1 out walk.
Yeah, an uncharacteristic walk. Reese Poole in the circle. It's the first one in the game. But you gotta love a hitter that has great discipline up at the plate, knowing that they need to just pick away at this lead that North Carolina's racked up.
Strecker's swinging at a high ball there for the first strike of her at bat. That was a rough last half inning for Strecker, but really not of her doing. They didn't really get good bat on the ball in that last half inning. Just put it in the opportune places.
Well, and you kind of appreciate the fact that that has been exposed here early in this tournament. It's something they can go home now, back to the hotel, and work on a little bit. Talk about that communication. Small ball is going to be something that other teams saw perhaps as a weakness for this Indiana team. So they need to tighten up that defense, make sure that their calls and coverages are correct. And another pass ball puts Indiana in scoring position.
Strecker with a big whack at that one, but it's 1-2.
And what you're seeing is this Indiana team now is starting to catch up to the speed. They're getting used to that speed that Poole is bringing from the circle. So the pitch that she really needs to utilize now, as these hitters are a little bit more on time with her, is that changeup. That'll be a difference maker if she can use it well.
That one is low, and that'll advance the runner again. Canar is going to dive into third. Now the first run for Zionsville, just 60 feet away. Strecker, whose older sister Isabella played in the Junior Central Regional Tournament back in 2019. Certainly runs in the family here. That one runs a little inside. The count is full now. That one inside, and the second walk of the inning.
Yeah, this is uncharacteristic for Poole. We normally see her throw a ton of strikes. Coming into this inning, she had thrown 37 of 62 pitches in there for strikes. Got a bunch of strikeouts, 6 on the day, but now back-to-back walks is telling us that maybe her grip is a little bit off. We saw her go to the rosin as the heat continues to climb and that humidity is in the air. It's sometimes hard to get a grip on that ball.
Now Emery Schuckman steps in, showing bunt. Runner goes, and now 2 on in scoring position. Strecker standing up there at second. Schuckman struck out her last time up. That one slapped on the plate, foul ball.
Yeah, so while the plate is in fair territory, that ball did creep back as the catcher, Carter, was able to pick it up, and so it was a foul ball. If the ball stays on the home plate, it is a fair ball.
That one is low, 1-2. Whether or not Indiana wins this game, how important is just putting some runs on the board here in this tournament?
You want to just get your bats going. At this point in the tournament, it's early, it's pool play. Yes, you want to be the top 4 teams in your pool because those are the only teams advancing. So a loss here does put a little bit of pressure on you, but more often than not, you just need to get your bats going so that in the next game, you've got that confidence rolling against the next team.
Schuckman to third. Up with it, little indecision. She's out. Troutman made the throw home. Runner advances to second, and she's out. A double play at home and second as Schuckman tried to take the extra base, down 6-0, and what looked like a promising start with a disastrous finish.
When it comes to defense, that wins ball games. So a play over to Troutman at third. She can't get it out of her glove and recognizes an opportunity to come home with it. Gets the tag, even though it's high. Gets the tag on the runner before her foot is able to get to the plate. But then a heads-up defensive play gets this third out of the inning over there at second base. Defense wins ball games, and they're back out to be able to hit their way to a win.
For Indiana, no runs, no hits.
A double play to end the inning. And Indiana looked like they were going to nip away at this deficit, and instead, it's still 6-0 North Carolina.
Yeah, they're going to look back at that half inning and realize there were a lot of missed opportunities being handed those 2 walks, opportunities to score, and then just some base running miscues ran them out of that inning. But kudos to North Carolina to keep this one at no runs for Indiana. Defensively, they were solid that inning.
Both teams have turned a double play here in this game. The unconventional style. And that one was third to home to pitcher to second. 5-2-1-4.
For those of you scoring at home.
I'd like to meet those people.
I guess is they're at a watch party somewhere enjoying this game.
Swinging a miss there from Strecker. Facing Jordan Dry. Jordan Dry looking for her first hit of this Little League World Series. She'll have to wait another AB. A swing and a miss as Strecker gets her down on strike.
Strecker, typically a really good strikeout pitcher, had 23 in the regional. That's her second one here in this game.
Eva Shue steps into the box. Rowan Little League out of Salisbury, North Carolina. They'll take on Oklahoma tomorrow. Oklahoma got a big win today. They'll face New Jersey on Friday. They've got an off day on Saturday. They'll face Nevada on Sunday to wrap up pool play. Quarterfinals, bracket style, begin on Monday. 4 games on Monday on ESPNU, ESPN News, ESPN2. All culminating in the championship on Wednesday. A week from today, 5 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Shue to short. Not in time.
Yeah, that ball deep in the 5-6 hole. Good range by Bradford, but when you got to throw all the way across the diamond to make that play, it's a tough one. And because of it, Shue's able to leg it out down the line. Great job recognizing that she needed to get out of the box quick.
Leah Troutman, who had a great bunt her last time up, and this one, a seeing eye single up the box. Into third is going to be Shue, and Troutman advancing to second on the wild throw.
Well, and we saw Riley Cunningham pulled over into that 3-4 hole. Because of it, that ground ball up the middle is able to get its way through, but Isabella Canar with a wild throw over there to third base allows Troutman to advance over to second.
Troutman at second, Shue at third. And now an opportunity here for Danica Rosa. Flies to second, but unable to corral that one was Canar. And a run will score. And Rosa scampers into second base.
And this ball is tattooed off the bat of Danica Rosa out to the outfield. And Isabella Canar just can't reel it in. So you see Skura coming over from right field to get this ball back into the infield, but she doesn't get it into second base. So Rosa advances and puts herself in scoring position as well.
Now Caroline Lyerly, 7-0 lead here for Rowan Little League out of Salisbury, North Carolina. Here in pool play, the runner-up in the Southeast region in Warner Robins, Georgia. Weren't making a lot of great contact earlier in the game, but now you're seeing these back-to-back hits right up the box, line out to a line drive to center field. And North Carolina pulling away here. Lyerly. Strecker. No one coming home, 2 away.
Well, one of the things that North Carolina has had to adjust to that Indiana has not was a pitching change. So the first time through the lineup, they were looking at Ainsley Watt. But then their second and third time through the lineup, they've had to face Ellie Strecker, a much different look coming out of the circle. And it looks like they've got their timing against Strecker nailed down.
You saw Charlie Dry, the coach, first base coach. The coaching never stops here, giving Caroline Lyerly a little hitting lesson about maybe she was opening up a little bit too much. There on that swing. Even Donnell Poole says, me and Charlie, we're the tough ones. Alan Baker is the nice one. It's always a good yin and yang and compliment. There's always good cop, bad cop on coaching staff.
You have to have that, and actually a really good coaching staff can interchange those roles. Sometimes you're the good cop and sometimes you're the bad cop, depending on the situation, but it comes down to that communication. So I love that he told her after her at-bat how to change it for next time.
Maddie Baker to third. Up with it is Cope. Across the diamond for the out. Well, Zionsville Little League with 3 more outs to play with. 7 runs to catch up. We go to the 6th. Virginia with the win. Oklahoma got a win over New Jersey. And so this is one of those things. I should say Virginia over Missouri, Oklahoma over New Jersey. You want to finish top 4 in the pool play to advance to bracket play. So 4 out of the 5 will advance, 1 will not. And an 0-1 start to your stay here doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot here. There's 3 more games to play.
It doesn't, but you want to make sure that you put yourself in a great position to be able to advance to that single elimination tournament. You never want to be that one team that gets left out as bracket play begins.
Samantha Kolwicki, slamming Sammy. Head coach Jeremiah Westerfield calls her. Also plays some basketball. Sammy couldn't catch up to that one though, 1 and 2.
And she had a really big triple against Ohio in their regional. Right now, you know that that's exactly how they want to start this inning, just to put an exclamation point on what they need to do for the rest of the tournament.
A couple of runs batted in that regional. And this one is skied to short. Dry is there for out number 1. Reese Poole has faced 2 over the minimum. Got a little help from that double play in the last inning. But she has been dominant with 6 strikeouts. More than 80 pitches thrown here, but the requirements are 6 innings. If you throw anything more than that, you need 24 hours rest. Looks like this one's not going extras, and she'll be available tomorrow.
Exactly. Even 1 pitch. But let's listen to Coach.
Focus on top of that helmet. Yeah, let's go. Everybody right here on 3. Just making sure we wasn't screwed up here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and see. Call it. Let's go.
See on 3. 1, 2, 3, and see.
Let's go. Come on now. You got to get ahead. We got to get all them pitches working. Let's go.
That's Donnell Poole talking to his daughter. Loved listening, and you have to ask the question whenever you're interviewing the daughter of the coach. Say, what's it like to play for Dad? She said, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. And I think that probably goes for a lot of kids.
That's an honest answer, right? When it's going well, he's her best friend, and he supports her all the time. But you could hear right there, he was calling her out, hey, we need to get your pitches going, knowing that they're going to ride her arm throughout the rest of this tournament.
And we will likely see her tomorrow morning when they face Oklahoma at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, all these games you can see in pool play on ESPN+. But all these teams want to be seen on ESPN 1 week from tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern, for the Little League Softball World Series Championship.
Yeah, the quarterfinals. Through the quarterfinals, it'll all be on Plus, but then starting with the semis, you're going to be able to see yourself on the big time, and that's the goal. Get yourself on ESPN.
Well, I got better news for you. Quarterfinals on ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN News.
Check it out.
Check that one out to right. Oh, a rare defensive misstep from Lyerly, and scampering into second base is Riley Cunningham, but she's out! Oh, another blunder on the base paths as Cunningham is out, and she's in pain, grabbing her left leg as she heads to the dugout. You hope she's okay with more games to play, but trying to get that.
Well, it just goes to show you never give up on a play. That is amazing to be able to get out there and get that ball off the ground. McNealy retreating to help out the right fielder, Lyerly, who didn't get that in. But if we go to replay, I wonder if her foot is on the bag when that tag is applied. And so far, that's going to be one as a coach that I would want to have go to replay. But it doesn't look like we're going to go to replay. We're just checking on Lyerly out there in right. Yeah, her feet slipped out from under her as she tried to go for that. So I'm guessing they're just going to make sure that she's okay. And you can tell that she's visibly upset by that drop, knowing that that's not what she's out there to do. But to be able to flush that, move on to the next play, that's the key in this situation. And as a coach, you see Donnell Poole head out there to make sure that he's able to flip the switch and let her know, hey, we're good. We've got a 6 or 7 run lead. That catch, while you wanted to make it, we still got the out.
And he said she might be their best outfielder. She's just improved so much. Transition from infield to outfield. Hustles more than anybody, and a great player to have there in right field. Well, now with 2 out, and yes, no review on that play, and that'll leave it up to the bat of Tess Bradford. That one ends with a diving stop at first base from Eva Shue. They couldn't make the previous catch, still got the out. This time a clean one and a great one. And a diving stop in foul territory by Eva Shue to give North Carolina the 7-0 win.
We saw some great
Presentation of ESPN. For Jenny Dalton Hill, I'm Matt Schick in North Carolina for the 7-0 win.